joining us today in the webinar. We are still seeing people logging in, so we will give a few more minutes, maybe 1 or 2 minutes, for the rest of the attendees to log in. In the meantime, please, if you want to start sending any questions, feel free to do so. I'm going to put myself on hold, and we will wait a little bit for a few more attendees to register and to log in. Thank you. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. Welcome to our webinar. This webinar is organized by CINDE, the Costa Rican Investment Promotion Agency, and with the participation of Roy Calderon, Materials Director for Allergan's Costa Rican facility. At this point, I greatly appreciate if you can make sure that you send me a small chat just to confirm that you are in fact listening to what I'm saying. You can send it to myself, Pilar Madrigal, I'm the organizer, and also a panelist. So if you have a few minutes to just please say, yes, I am here and I can hear you, that would be greatly appreciated. I'll wait for a minute or so and then we will start. Great. I think everybody is actually able to listen to me at this point. So again, thank you very much. My name is Pilar Madrigal. I'm the Director of International Affairs of the Costa Rican Investment Promotion Agency. A few housekeeping items before we proceed with the presentation. First of all of you are in listen-only mode through the presentation. Please make sure that your speakers or phones or if by any chance, just to make sure that you are in fact on mute so we don't have any disturbances, that would be greatly appreciated. We will be answering typed questions during the question and answer portion of the webinar. You may submit the questions via that general chat feature at the bottom of your screen. I'm sure everybody knows where it is. And after we're finished, we will answer questions that have been submitted. If time does not allow us to answer the questions at that point, we will be emailing you responses once the webinar ends. And with that, let's start with the presentation. Our intention today is to accomplish a few objectives. One is to provide an overview of Costa Rica's medical device sector. We will also gather the perspective of an already established company and its view on local supplier development, a very, very important topic, and that's why Roy Calderon is joining us today. And the third one is to give you information about our upcoming Life Sciences Forum that will take place in March 18th through 20th. And we will talk about that a little later in the website, in the webinar. The title of the webinar today is Medical Devices, a High-Growth Industry in Costa Rica. And just once more, my name is Pilar Madrigal, and we have Roy Calderon, Materials Director from Allergan, Costa Rica. Let's just go through the agenda very quickly. Again, we'll see Costa Rica at a glance. We'll have an overview of the medical device sector. We will have a success story. Allergan, it is, without a doubt, another success story in Costa Rica. We'll talk about the Life Sciences Forum. And finally, we will have questions and answers from the audience. So let's start with Costa Rica at a glance. I will point a few items here, not all of them, but some of them. Our country is located in the middle of the Americas on a Central Standard Time zone. We have a population of 4.6 million people and a labor force of 2.15 million people, of which almost 40% of those are women. That's very interesting to know. Our GDP per capita based on a purchasing power parity is 12,559. That is above countries like Brazil, Colombia, and Mexico. So that's also very important for you to know. Our country's inflation during 2012 was 4.5%, and our employment rate is 7.8%. Now, in relation to our foreign direct investment, it is important to mention that it reached $2.17 billion in 2012. The inflows have grown at an average pace of 12.6% every year since 2002. In 2011, as you can see there, it represented almost 5% of our GDP. And our foreign direct investment per capita reached $464. That ranks Costa Rica among the top countries in Latin America in those two indexes. Now, in terms of our exports, we consider ourselves a very successful exporting country. We have achieved consistent growth and diversification of our products and markets. Exports of goods and services, as you can see there, have grown at an average annual rate of 9% since 2002. Exports of goods are at 7.9%, exports of services at 11.7%. In 2012, exports and imports of goods and services represented almost 80% of our GDP. And for everybody here to know, it is important to mention that Costa Rica is the fourth high-tech exporter of the world and the first high-tech exporter in Latin America, according to the World Bank. Now, this slide represents, quite frankly, what we believe is the secret to our success. Our workforce does make the difference in our country. As you can see, the quality of our educational system is, according to the World Economic Forum, above developed countries such as the United States and China. Also above other countries in Latin America. We have the best educational system in Latin America. Education is free and mandatory since 1870. The country commits 8% of its GDP into education. The average years of instruction have increased 56% over the last 30 years. We are the second country in Latin America with the best command of the English language, a very important topic if you are managing your team from abroad. And on average, about 95% of the employees of multinational companies in Costa Rica are local. Now, what would you do if you have the highest education standards and the best location if you really don't have a pro-business environment? Honestly, I don't think you would achieve much, and for us, that's really not the case. We really do have a very pro-business environment. As you can see, our stability, we rank second in Latin America. We are the safest country in Latin America. We have the first place in the quality of labor relations in Latin America, and we have the third place in Latin America with less corruption perception. Four very important topics to consider when you're looking where to do business. We have a very open economy. We are constantly looking to engage on trade. We are an active participant in a multilateral trading system. We have 9 free trade agreements in place, and we're very, very aggressively working on more. In terms of IP protection, a very important topic for in the medical device field and the life sciences field in general, we rank 3rd in protection of intellectual property in Latin America. And in terms of innovation, another index that is now being considered more and more important, Costa Rica ranks 1st in the availability of scientists and engineers, and we rank 1st in innovation. So we are more and more consider ourselves not a country where you only look at the low labor cost, but a country from which a lot of new ideas and collaboration at the highest of the levels can be achieved. Now, part of having a pro-business environment is to provide businesses with the right tools for success. One of these tools is in Costa Rica is the free trade zone regime. Costa Rica offers a preferential tax program called the free trade zone system. Companies in this system will receive tax exemptions, as you can see there, in import duties of raw materials, of equipment, and tax-free in the importing of components, also in sales tax, in property tax, in municipal taxes, in withholding taxes, and most importantly, it will give full or partial income tax exemptions for a period of 8 years, with the possibility of renewing this exemption multiple times if the company reinvests. Basic requirements to join this free trade zone regime include a minimum investment in fixed assets and employment that must be accompanied by accomplished in a specific time frame. So if you commit, and you'll see there down here where it says manufacturing, you'll see here what are the minimum requirements. And again, the company can renew these exemptions if they make significant investments. One of the key attributes of Costa Rica, as I mentioned to you, is our strategic location. As you can see from this slide, there are about 140 daily flights that connect Costa Rica to the rest of the world through 2 international airports. One of them, the San Juan Santa Maria Airport, is considered the 3rd best airport in Latin America and the Caribbean. Also, there are 2 cargo ports in the Caribbean and 1 in the Pacific. And this particular advantage is allowing companies to export finished product to markets worldwide. Again, taking advantage of our network of free trade agreements with different regions around the world. Now, moving to our proven track record in medical devices. Nothing tempts more than knowing that world-renowned companies are already manufacturing in a specific region or country. That definitely gives a sense of credibility, and for us, this particular slide proves that. More than 20 multinational companies from different subsectors have chosen Costa Rica for operations, and they're doing this very, very successfully. I will not go through all of them, but I'm sure you recognize most of these names. And again, they have significant facilities throughout the country, and they are now employing thousands of people, and they're exporting top-of-the-line medical devices. It is important to mention numbers and data, because that's really what proves and what talks. In our case, export of precision and medical equipment, as you can see there, have grown 2 times faster than the rest of the free trade zone exports, at an average of about 8.4% every year from 2002 to 2012. And overall, it has grown 269% in the last decade. So the interesting fact about this is that we not only see the growth, but we also see tremendous diversification and sophistication. As you can see there, Costa Rica is the 2nd largest exporter of medical devices in Latin America. We have presence of 5 global cardiovascular leaders. We manufacture up to Class 3 medical devices. We, as I mentioned to you before, we are exporting finished goods to worldwide markets. And the presence of all these global leader manufacturers will bring, in turn, a very good opportunity for a lot of new suppliers. In areas, as we mentioned some here, but of course there's many of them in molding, calibration, packaging, machining, and many others. So I have, given you a kind of an overview. Roy Calderon is going to share with you more his on-the-ground experience on what is Allergan doing, and what is their vision on local supplier development. So with that, I give the floor to Roy, who will take it from here. Thank you very much. Roy, you can take it from here.
Thank you very much, Pilar, and thank you very much for all the attendees. My name is Roy Calderon, and I am the Materials Director for Allergan in Costa Rica. I want to start by sharing with you who is Allergan. So Allergan is, if we go to the next slide, Pilar, please.
Yes.
Allergan is a public company. We are publicly traded. Our stock ticket is AGN. It was founded in 1950, and it's headquartered in Irvine, California. It's a multi-specialty healthcare company with a focus on different areas such as neurologics, pharmaceutical products, medical devices, among others. Allergan prides itself to be a company that moves by enabling people to live their lives to the greatest potential, see more clearly, move more freely, and express themselves more fully. And we have leading brands on the different segments we participate. In neurologics, I'm sure many of you have heard Botox, one of our leading brands. In the pharmaceutical products, we have Restasis and Lumigan. And in medical devices, we have Class 3 medical devices such as the Natural breast implants, the lap-band adjustable gastric banding system, and also Class 4 devices such as the Juvederm dermal fillers. Costa Rica is part of that role, and we are part of the more than 10,000 employees and the $5 billion that Allergan sold last year. Speaking specifically about Costa Rica, this operation was founded in 1999 as Magan Medical, and through the years went through a series of acquisitions until Allergan acquired this business in 2006. Shortly after acquiring the business and understanding the potential of the country, Allergan made the decision to close a sister facility located in Ireland and transfer 100% of the Class 3 medical devices to be manufactured in Costa Rica. As a result, we built a new facility in 2007, which is roughly 140,000 square feet, about 13,000 square meters. We are at almost 700 employees now, and we operate in 3 shifts, 6 days a week. And our product lines here are breast implants for augmentation and reconstructive procedures, and also obesity intervention devices. From Costa Rica, we are exporting to more than 50 destination points across the world, and from there to more than 150 countries where our products are commercialized. We are currently the second largest exporter of medical devices in Costa Rica. And Allergan chose in Costa Rica and made the decision of consolidating 100% of the Class 3 devices here, first and foremost because of the high educational level of the population. It was comparatively easy to get qualified professionals and qualified employees here than in other geographies. It also offered good stability in legal, financial, and political grounds, and it has a very competitive operational cost when you compare with other developing economies. The free trade zone incentives and also the availability of free trade agreements with many important markets is another point of interest. And last but not least, there is strong government support for exporting companies, help us develop and help us to overcome the different challenges we may have by consolidating and aligning the effort from many companies on the same purpose. Part of what we have been doing, if we go to the next slide, is working very actively in strengthening our local supply base. And basically, we have been doing that by using three complementary approaches. First, we encourage several of our key suppliers to establish operation in Costa Rica. And I'm very glad to see them establishing operation and growing, not only because they increase their participation in our organic business, but also because they have found on the other OEMs good customers as well. So it's been a win-win situation for them and for us. Second is we have invested strongly in developing local companies to achieve the levels of quality, service, and reliability we need to be part of our supply chain. And as we have developed local companies, they also have gone into other OEMs and also have serviced some of our suppliers that have installed in Costa Rica. And the third approach is we have actively engaged with companies that establish operation in Costa Rica, even if they are not part of our current supply chain. What I mean by that is if a company establishes operations in Costa Rica and their product offerings have a match with our needs, we actively engage with them and explore the possibilities of doing local sourcing with them and qualifying them to become an allergen supplier sooner rather than later. And from that approach, we source many different categories locally. Packaging, primarily 100% of our packaging is coming from local suppliers with a combination of local companies that have been developed up to the standard for medical devices, and also key suppliers that establish operation in Costa Rica. Machine metal parts, molded thermoplastic components, either by injection, extrusion, or liquid injection molding, semi-assembled components, cleanroom supplies, solvents, calibration and microbiology equipment, tool manufacturing, and some other specialized services as well. We have expanded and we have grown our content of locally sourced services and products by more than 10 times in the last 3 years. And in order to do that, we have also invested into making our local partners stronger. We expect our local suppliers to become commercial partners with us. So we do share a lot of knowledge. We have a lot of joint meetings where we explore what things can be done differently together. We share the tools and means we use to achieve operational excellence. Whatever learnings we have from our own process are open to our local suppliers. And in all fairness, they're open to all suppliers, but as you can imagine, the ones located in Costa Rica have it easier when it comes to being here, stay with us for extended period of time, and exchange ideas with us. We also have achieved good competitive operational costs by developing local suppliers. We were able to reduce our cycle time, increase our speed to market. We have also improved the reliability of our supply chain and optimized our investment on inventory by having local suppliers. Communication has been another good benefit of having local suppliers. We can rely on local suppliers for having a quicker turnaround. It's always good to know that if we ever encounter a problem, we will have a representative from our supplier or an engineering team on site on a couple of hours, as opposite to a couple of days, as it happens for overseas suppliers. And we have recently invested a lot into expanding our lean enterprise and operational excellence model to include key suppliers, key local suppliers. Again, it is easier to do when you are very close by. So it's been part of what we have been doing. Overall, our philosophy is to work with our suppliers and our supply chain partners to drive waste out of the system. It is not our expectation that just by being local, the supplier will have to have a cheaper price. Our expectation is that by being local, our supplier can engage with us, and working together we can identify waste, eliminate it out of the system, and then share the benefits from that optimization efforts in a fair way between them and us. So it's been a win-win situation for our suppliers and also for Ireland, of course. Another important characteristic is that we are not alone in this effort. We have also joined efforts with other OEMs in Costa Rica, other medical devices OEMs, and with the support of government agencies such as CINDE and Procomer and the Costa Rican Chamber of Industries, we have also worked together to strengthen the local supply base. We understand that to sustain our competitive operational costs and improve the service levels, we need to help strengthen and grow the local supply base in Costa Rica. We have been, as an industry, we have been growing double digit over the past few years, and the only way to sustain that and improve and increase our content of locally sourced materials and services is by working actively, not just encouraging, but also supporting those companies who decide to establish operation in Costa Rica. And this has been I would say, an industry-wide effort. Pretty much all the major OEMs in the medical device cluster have cooperated over the past 2.5 years to make it happen and to accelerate the rate of change and success. So for most of us, even though it's not the primary criteria, all things being equal, sourcing from a local supplier is a preference over keep sourcing from overseas if we have the chance. And although being qualified with one OEM doesn't necessarily mean you will have an immediate entry ticket to the others, obviously when I'm analyzing suppliers and I know that a particular local supplier has been qualified by one of the other OEMs, it gives us a greater sense of confidence that it will go through our qualification and validation process smoother than other companies. Last but not least, and I already mentioned this, all these efforts have been jointly coordinated and led by CINDE and Procomer and the Costa Rican Chamber of Industries. So it's really a cluster effort, and I think it has paid off very well for all the OEMs who have been involved in this effort over the past few years.
Well, thank you very much, Roy. I greatly appreciate that. I wanted to, and I'll do that also at the end, but I re-thank you for your participation. Quite frankly, the message here is, for the audience, is that there is a very, very, very strong effort on keeping to call all these global suppliers to take a look at Costa Rica. There is, again, as Roy mentioned, a joint effort in between several national organizations and CINDE and all the OEMs. It's kind of a knocking on the door to say there are many opportunities. The industry is growing. The data shows, their internal data shows, that the medical device industry has a lot of room to grow. And we are looking proactively and knocking on doors proactively to all those suppliers that might be interested in taking a look at the country. So looking forward, Costa Rica wants to increase our participation in global value chains. We are more and more looking into making products that are valuable, more sophisticated, more innovative. We continue promoting the consolidation of the cluster. We are doing a lot of effort into continue to develop the right talent pool to leverage with the dynamism of all these sectors. So there's a lot of academic collaboration to enhance the labor availability for all these companies that are moving into our country, and also those national companies that want to grow and continue to support the cluster. And then, we are, as an organization, CINDE is providing what we call value-added services and products to the cluster. And one of them is the Life Sciences Forum. We wanted to take the opportunity to talk about that here as well. It is an up-and-coming conference. It's a forum that will take place, as I mentioned to you, between March 18th and 20th in Costa Rica. It is at the Wyndham, at the Convention Center. We, incredibly, for everybody to know, we actually have been sold out of sponsorship since October. And to date, we have more than 200 attendees confirmed. We have the idea of this, again, is to provide an opportunity for high-level executives to discuss trends, opportunities, both in Costa Rica and globally, and understand why those 40 companies are there. How are they envisioning the industry in Costa Rica and globally, and how suppliers can take advantage of that. If you log into our website, you will see the event. We have very, very interesting speakers from different fields. We have inventors, we have academics, we have representatives from strong companies, Medtronic, Deloitte. We have a very important study from Duke University, in which is showing how Costa Rica is evolving in global value chains. And probably one of the most important things of the event itself is that attendees will have the opportunity to visit with some of these companies. There are some planned tours. These planned tours are just for everybody to know, it is subject to availability. The registration to visit with these planned tours with these companies is February the 20th. It's important. We're encouraging everybody to register as quickly as possible because they do get filled up very quickly. There's a few spots left, but we encourage everybody to continue to register. The process is the OEMs will review the list, and they will make sure that everybody can go into their facilities. Again, it's subject to availability, and the time to close, we are presenting the list to the OEMs by February 20th. So please, everybody, welcome to the Life Sciences Forum. Register as soon as possible. If you have any questions, feel free to let us know. We are expecting audience from many different sectors and subsectors. It will involve everybody from direct participants into the live, of the cluster, of the medical device cluster, to maybe indirect, such as contractors, developers, consultants, other type of service providers, and of course niche sectors. Audience from sectors like orthopedic and cardiovascular and all of these that are named here. This is the website. It's lifesciencescr.com. You'll find a lot of information there. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to call us. These are two of the people that are to be contacted for information of the sector, of the medical device sector per se. Please, feel free to contact Lucia Gross. She's the medical device sector manager. That's her email address. And if you want to find out more about the Life Sciences Forum and proceed to register, you can log in, or you can also contact Benjamin Pisa, and that's his email address for today. With that, there is one question that came in as of now. Again, if you have any other questions, please feel free to do so now. This question actually, Roy, is for you. They are asking where do you see more suppliers coming in? What sectors or what type of more services and products do you think that have a lot more opportunities in Costa Rica?
There are several important mid-market needs at this point. I'm thinking about the overall cluster, the whole OEMs. I'm thinking on what we have discussed as a group. Definitely plastic molding and resin compounding, it's an important market niche. Also, electronic assembly such as circuit boards and similar type of components for products such as infusion pumps and similar devices are an important unmet need. Guide wires, cables in general, seems to be the other OEMs are growing much faster, and their needs are going more faster than what the local or the currently installed suppliers can supply. And in terms of services, I would say calibration services, specialized microbiology services, clean room construction and clean room maintenance services are important niches. Clean room supplies, overall, most of us keep importing significant portion because we don't yet have presence from or enough presence in Costa Rica of companies offering clean room supplies at a competitive cost and with the service levels we need. Those to mention just a few. But again, I guess that the key here is that as a cluster, we are growing faster than what our suppliers are growing, and that's why we keep asking CIMDE to reach out for more companies to install operation in Costa Rica.
Thank you, Roy. Well, and we're hoping we're going on the right way. This is this type of initiatives, informing everybody of the opportunity is important. I also wanted to mention, just out a little bit of the context, but it is important. The team will be clearly participating at the MD&M. You will have the opportunity there to meet the executives from the medical device sector. I think that's in the next couple of weeks or so, or next week, if I'm not mistaken. And there they will have, again, a lot of information and much more specific information. They will have tailor-made presentations. If you request so, feel free again to email Lucia. If you're attending the MD&M in Anaheim, you'll see them there, and you'll have more opportunity to chit-chat and talk more in depth. I actually love it when the webinars are very informative and short and sweet. I know everybody has a tight agendas. We want to keep everybody's attention for as long as possible. So I think we have accomplished our goal. Again, I thank everybody. Roy, I can't thank you enough for participating. This is an eye-opening message that we want to send to everybody, and hearing it from you is very important. We want the companies to understand that this is, the suppliers to understand that this is a real need, supplier development. I think we've done a good job, but I think there's so much more to do, and Roy has given everybody his perspective on what they're doing and the opportunities there. So with that, thank you very much, the audience. Thank you, Roy, and I hope everybody has a good rest of the day. We will be emailing and posting this webinar on our website, and also we will be emailing this material to those that participated today. Thank you very much, and have a good afternoon, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Pilar. Bye-bye.
Thank you.